The public knows that me and Micky were going to step into the ring and fight. When I stand in across the ring at Arturo, it's like looking at an image of myself.
I would say these are, particularly the first fight, just absolutely breathtaking.
Him coming on hard.
Gatti to the body. Gatti with uppercut. Right hand. Oh, this is good stuff.
Me coming back.
Good right hand. Good right hand.
Me coming on hard.
Oh, look at that. Look at that combination.
Him coming back.
It is man against man in there.
Then of course round 9.
Round 9 of the first one. Unbelievable.
I started actually winning that round until I got flipped to the body, and that was it.
The left hook to the body ward, body, and this knockdown jump.
But I knew he had a ton of coverage and a lot of hot.
I thought Gatti was done, and Gatti just came back and those got and back and forth.
This is body shot by Gatti. Warm nods as if to say, come on, come on, come on, let's fight.
Towards the end of the round, I just came back at him, and I thought they should have stopped fighting. You know, I could have just humped my gloves up right there, but I didn't.
Gatti's getting survived the round. This has been a round of the second. By majority decision, Micky.
By right, he deserved the rematch, and I think the public did too, because it was such a great fight.
The featured bout of the evening, the rematch.
They were kind of slow in the first couple of rounds of the fight, and then in the third round, it was just like this boom.
That's a great right hand by Gatti, and Micky Ward goes down.
I don't even know how I stood up.
Micky Ward is very wobbly. He has no legs.
I didn't want to quit for nothing. I don't care what happens to me.
But he's got a ton of heart.
I'll die in that ring if I have to. The referee was nearby, and I'm like, you know, how much more do you want me to do?
Micky Ward has as big a heart as anybody who ever probably walked the face of the earth.
What a right hand by Micky Ward. Now he lands the left hook to the liver. And he's frozen.
It was like you felt like your back during the first fight, and it was just picking up where it left off.
They're doing it again in Atlantic City.
When he came back to the corner at the end of the third round, he came and I looked like, all right, coach, I'm going to get back to the fight plan.
Gatti's still showing the energy and the commitment to box, box, box.
The strategy that we had, me and Buddy McGirt, you know, is to use the ring and box.
Arturo Gatti's dominance over Micky Ward is increasing as the fight goes on.
Stuck to the game plan, you know. As far as the game plan, I didn't have it, and he did, and he followed it to a T, and I think that's a one-win fight.
The winner is Arturo Gatti.
There were two great fights, and I'm just happy to say that I was a part of it.
50 years from now, people will remember the fights. There's no doubt about it.
And coming up, Arturo Gatti and Micky Ward. You see the records. Gatti 35-6, 28 knockouts. Micky 38 wins, 12 losses, 27 knockouts. But that means nothing here tonight. It would be as if records meant nothing, because this is the final chapter.
Well, you know, their records are pretty similar. Their fighting styles pretty similar. They're both guys with terrific heart, and they deserve each other in this type of a matchup, and the public deserves them. So it's one of those happy fights where as soon as they announce it, you know it's going to be a great fight. You just can't wait for it to happen. You know nothing's going to happen to ruin it going in. And this has just been one of those nice lead-in periods, both good guys to talk to, and it does a lot for the sport of boxing.
One of the great quotes out of Ward, I want to go out with all my marbles.
That's a good thing to shoot for.
He's going to take 1.3 million marbles. Win, lose, or draw here tonight. It's going to be interesting, Dave, to see if he really does, and I know he's got the temperament to do it, if he really does cut loose. Or whether psychologically, if things aren't going that well, he would ride the fight out.
You wonder, because many people who would say they're going to retire after this particular fight don't win. Let's see how it works tonight. Gatti 31, Ward is 37. The height the same, the weight the same, the reach the same. The records very much the same. And they'll be fighting by the rules you're familiar with. No standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and a fighter cannot be saved by the bell at all. These guys would never want to be saved by the bell.
And suddenly the crowd is getting into it as we await the two warriors. They're coming into the ring any minute now. And the anticipation is amazing here because everybody has their take on what they think's going to happen. I mean, when two guys fight 3 times, and the first one was absolutely a tremendous fight. The second one was not as tremendous because Gatti dominated it, so we don't know what's going to happen. But here he is, his last fight of his long career. He's been at it a long, long time. Micky Ward turned pro in 1985.
And he's a fixture in Atlantic City from 1986 on. The casino era coming to boot with him.
And the thing he did say, though, when he got stunned by Gatti in the second fight, got hit in the ear and it broke his eardrum, he said his equilibrium really was fouled up. And it was days after before he regained his equilibrium. And he always felt, and he said it many times, if that hadn't happened, what that fight might have turned out to be.
As he gets in there, Atlantic City has been good to both fighters. You know, Micky Ward at one point fought 17 times here in a 40-year period. Late in the 80s, it's always been a second home for him. And Arturo Gatti, living up in Jersey City, will just come down for a couple hours, bring a lot of people with him. And Atlantic City has been good to him as well. And these are two guys that can feed off each other and help each other make good money and bring the crowd a great fight.
But the question is, will Ward do new things in the ring tonight? And there is Arturo Gatti, who fought a beautiful fight in the second time.
Every now and then, you see Arturo Gatti throw in a classic boxing effort. He did it the second time against Tracy Harris Patterson. He was able to do it to some extent in the second fight against Micky Ward. And you bring up the point about can Micky Ward adjust with this guy in his face? It might be instinct. These guys might take any comfortable adjustment away from each other.
Well, this has been a night of knockouts. We've had 3 of them so far. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a 4th knockout somewhere here.
And maybe one is due to go all the way, you know?
Here he comes. Arturo Gatti. And the question is it a must for him tonight? Is this a must? If Gatti does not win tonight, and he's really flying high right now in his career, this is a must, I would think.
Well, it's a must that he resembles Arturo Gatti, as we'll get the introductions here.
Let's go up to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, by way of Bally's Atlantic City, Main Events is proud to present the 3rd and final chapter of the Gatti Ward boxing trilogy. 10 rounds of boxing for the unofficial but undisputed Blood and Guts Championship of the World. Brought to you in association with Bally's Atlantic City, the King of Beers, Budweiser, and Bella Entertainment. Sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board, Chairman Gerald Gormley, Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard Sr. The 3 judges at ringside scoring this bout on the 10-point system will be George Hill, Joe Pasquale, and Luis Rivera. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Earl Morgan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Main Events and HBO Sports, and with dedication to the men and women who serve with honor and valor as members of the armed forces of the United States of America, from Bally's Atlantic City, Let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trimmed with red and blue, weighing in officially at 142 pounds. In his professional career, he has been victorious 38 times, including 27 knockouts, and he has 12 defeats. Tonight, he enters the ring for his final fight. And tonight, he vows to end his 18 years in the ring with a victory. Ladies and gentlemen, the fighting pride of Lowell, Massachusetts, a former super lightweight world champion, Irish Micky. And across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trimmed with blue, his official weight, also 142 pounds. His professional record stands at 35 victories, including 28 knockouts against 6 defeats. Over his career, he has become recognized as a fighter of unchallenged valor and courage with his never surrender, never quit style. Ladies and gentlemen, from Jersey City, New Jersey, the former junior lightweight world champion, the ultimate blood and guts warrior, Arturo Gatti.
Over your trunks and illegal. I expect you to keep your fingers up here. Touch gloves, really good luck. Protect yourself at all times. Thank you. Go back.
Well, the introductions are an indication of the excitement we're going to see tonight. We're in for a big one.
It's amazing. This packed house, the decibel level just went up more than a jet plane taking off. Here he is, Micky Ward, his final fight of a long career. Arturo Gatti needs a win to keep his career moving along, and a title shot possibly. Here we go, round one. One of the things that helped Gatti in the first fight was that he would dip down, he would bend down. He was taught that by Buddy McGirt. He used it, he boxed in and out, and he starts out with a jab.
All those things are nice in the work until you get hit, and then you find out whether a guy is going to revert to a tiger aspect and just attack his opponent, or settle back into boxing.
Here comes Ward.
And one of Micky Ward's best shot is a combination left hook and an uppercut. He's a converted southpaw. Goes downstairs with the left hook very effectively.
Gatti's going to move and box and try to stay off the ropes. And Ward will take a rush at him from time to time because Ward is a straight-in-your-face guy. And even though he said he's going to do a lot of things, he's going to move and he's going to box. I don't think you'll see that. I think you'll see him coming straight at Gatti.
We're seeing Gatti try to be controlled here in the early going, and then he thinks behind that jab and a good body shot by Gatti.
Counter punch from Ward. First round action. Both fighters sizing each other up. Left hand from Ward. Couple of jabs. And a reaching right hand and a short right hand from Gatti.
Good right hand by Ward, sneaking through as he found an opening against the attacking Gatti.
Yeah, he got in a nice glancing right hook. Jab right hand from Gatti. And I think you just mentioned, Dave, that Gatti will try to take over and control his fight like he did in the second fight.
If he's able to stay outside and operate behind that jab, it would be, on paper, an easy fight for him. Whether or not Ward lets him get to that point is another matter.
Ward flicks out a couple of jabs. He said also that he would jab more. Body shot from Gatti. No severe punches yet in this fight. Final seconds of round one.
Right hand. He's trying to catch the right hand over the jab, okay? That's all he's trying to do. And doing that, he's trying to hit you with the right hand lead so he can get the hook down the stairs. That's it. Do me a favor. Keep working the jab, put a little more speed behind it, and keep throwing those right hands to the body. They're expecting the right hand.
Right hand jobs every time. You put the right hand once, it's perfect. Decided to the same motor, you're falling around, you're falling around. He's doing the same thing, watch that. Bang, 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 jab, put it right here. Be quick, man. Quick, man. That right hand you stop me with. That will stop him. He hurt him just then. You can't throw once. You got to be more active. Come on. Be active. The last spot of your career, man. Fight hard, baby. Let's go. I take him out.
Round two. The trilogy. The rubber match. We just saw a very close first round. And there's Ward with a counter right. To the body goes Gatti.
They're opening up a lot more now already in round two. Gatti looking for the body, as was Ward.
Well, let's say if Gatti dips down and goes inside like there he goes, but he didn't do anything.
Here comes the crowd chanting for Gatti. Ward has a lot of people in here too. Let's see on low. Gatti's the ultimate blood and guts guy. He's made a career of that. And you ask about the must-win situations, the people will come no matter who he fights, regardless of his performance, as long as he continues to fight with a ton of heart.
Ward started the pressure and back off. Goes back to the center of the ring.
Some abrasions for Ward.
Ward has one on his forehead.
Also one under his left eye.
Earl Morton wipes the gloves off. And back we go to the center of the ring. The dancing Gatti. Jabbing. Goes to the body.
Now Ward's fans are up.
Gatti's starting to move more. Ward holding and trying to slam into the body. Here comes Gatti.
Good hook by Gatti. He was able to turn into it.
Good hit and run by Arturo.
With a punishing right hand to the body. He's maximizing his one-punch opportunities right now.
He's looking good here in round two. Ward trying to track him down, cut off the ring, get him in a corner, against the ropes. Gatti fires an uppercut that misses. Good hit, good head movement by Gatti. Comes back with a jab and the right hand.
Ward missing with that wild right hand, and they tie each other up. And Ward goes to work on the inside, and it's a low shot.
And Ward has a bloody nose right now from those jabs. He apologizes for the low blow. These fellas, these two guys are very, very good friends. And it makes you wonder how they can get in the ring and go at it like they do. Final seconds of round two.
And Micky Ward double check to make sure there were no hard feelings. It's one of the rare times you'll see a double check in that regard.
What's happening is the short person is left and away first. Right. Well, switch left on him. Okay,
Very good, man. Okay, very good. Very good, Arturo. Double up on the jab a little more. Give me some more right hands to the body.
They come together, gloves there, watch where Micky Ward will stray low. That was a low shot. Gets warned for it, and then he apologized twice.
Round 3. Arturo Gatti and Irish Micky Ward in their third and final fight. The final fight for Ward. He'll retire no matter what happens. And Gatti hopes to go on if he wins here tonight. He'll fight one of the top contenders. Eventually hold a world title, which he did years ago.
Gatti pouring fights through. The interesting thing about Gatti and Ward is that they're in their own realm. Whether it's titles, no titles, they just have their own place and their own niche with boxing fans and gamblers and viewers.
Which is very refreshing.
Yeah, refreshing, and it's a rarity, so they've been able to capitalize on their persona.
There's a combo from Gatti.
And then Ward got thrown.
Ward's looking to counterpunch. But Gatti's giving him too much movement. In and out, side to side. Not giving Ward a target. Double jab, right hand. A wild miss. That shows you how much movement Gatti's giving him right now.
And it's indicative
left to the body.
Of Gatti's ability to move. In many fights in his career, he would have got nailed with a shot like that right hand. The quick feet is something that has been a refreshing addition to his attack.
Here comes Gatti.
He's got Ward in some
goes to the body
here. Body shots are murderous type shots.
Micky Ward breathing heavily after taking those mid-second shots. Gatti boxing now. Starting to control the fight, dictate the pace. Seems to have the range.
Well, these body shots by Gatti in this round have been missiles. And it sets up the hook you just saw.
Good left hook. Solid left hook. Right now, Ward's getting peppered by some hard shots. Gatti's really picked it up here in the third round. Good head movement. Didn't always fight that way, did he, Dave?
Very rarely fought that way. And it's interesting to see a guy say he's going to incorporate something into his attack and then actually do it if it's defensive.
Just landed 3 punches to Ward's face in the final seconds of round 3, a big round for Arturo Gatti.
I give it back. Hey, listen, let's go back downstairs again. Let's go back downstairs to the body. Okay, now listen, don't put the face, come up for the face to the body. Let's keep painting them downstairs, jab, paint them, jab, then jump one downstairs. But like I told you, he's going to counter with that hook if he should. Okay? Now when you slip the hook and he throws the right hand, don't pull out. Just stay low and let it go up under, just go up under them. Very good, beautiful. Okay, but you're boxing beautiful, baby. You're boxing beautiful. Just show. Okay?
Yeah, go on, man. Relax. Yeah. Relax. Got it? All right, seconds out. Yo, let's clean that form off, buddy.
Round 4, as Gatti has picked up the pace, his movement, his head movement, his bending and ducking, his combinations are looking very good here.
Again, he was very sharp in the last round. Those body shots were tremendous assets to him, and then he came upstairs with the left hook. His percentage of good body shots has been very high.
Well, it's a tribute to Buddy McGirt. Here comes Ward.
But did Gatti hurt his hand with Ward coming on and got him not throwing anything back?
Ward landed a left hook, a right hook. Ward having a moment here. Well, we've seen this in the past when one man would be beating the other man and the beaten one would come back just as strong. Remember round 9 of the first fight.
Gatti has been hesitant with the right hand ever since he clashed with it with Ward earlier in this round. He's not fired the right hand, and we'll have to keep an eye on that. Is that right hand injured for Gatti? And if so, he's a one-handed fighter, and this is a dangerous place to be. We have not seen the right hand fired in about a minute.
Gatti broke his hand in the last fight, had surgery. There's the right hand from Gatti.
Ward has come on here as Gatti's right hand speed has slowed down, and Ward sensing Gatti not firing that right hand, and he may pick up on that injury.
He might have broken it again.
Here's Ward unloading.
A series of uppercuts. Ward senses. He senses that Gatti is holding back on the right hand. And he's going to do everything he can to take advantage. There comes Gatti. Left hook to the body.
Now, at some point in this fight, the corner will have decisions to make about the hand. I think they would let it go now, but a couple of rounds from now, if he's not doing what he wants, they might have a decision to make regarding Arturo Gatti. They're going to ask him after this round about it too. But he's getting nailed with stuff like that. They can't make him a target.
Right hook from Ward. Gatti appears to be in trouble, appears to be wounded.
He had everything going his way until that right hand became a problem for him. And he's trying to do this with one hand now.
Right uppercut.
Oh, what hard fight, Gatti. As Ward comes back, and this crowd now has what they came for.
At the end of the round.
Don't stay inside and take no body shots. Okay? Now listen, work the jab to his chest, bring the hook to the body. Okay? And don't stay inside. Alrighty? Okay, come on, baby. Come on, champion.
Here they come together, watch. As he throws the right hand and winces in pain. And he comes around and then tries to do it with the left hand after that. Another action as he collides with the hip bone of Micky Ward with his right hand. Watch the face right after that, and he's in instant pain. And there were two people who immediately knew the problem, Arturo Gatti and our producer, Frank Belmont.
Frank ought to be out here. Here we go. Round 5. Ward coming off a good round. Sensing that Gatti had a problem, and he went after him. And you're right, that hand just hit flush on his hip bone.
The question for Gatti now is, can he shake it off? Can he box with the one hand? Can he fire the hook with the one hand? And how much has Micky Ward caught onto him?
What's ironic here is the fact that in Ward Gatti 2, in the 3rd round, when Ward's eardrum was broken, he fought wounded the rest of the way, although Gatti broke his hand in that fight as well. Now, we don't know what the story is now, but Gatti is holding back on the right hand.
He's just using it for show and trying to do it with the left hand. I mean, that's a warrior. Just automatically try to get into a one-handed attack and do it that way.
Gatti using the jab, and there was no doubt about it. He was disconcerted because he stopped moving.
I mean, there are many symbols and things to describe Arturo Gatti. You think of him being hit 17 times by Gabriel Morales and then scoring a left hook and knocking him out right after that. You think of his explosive fights, but what else could best exemplify his spirit than he gets injured and right away he's just into a different mode.
Micky Ward has a cut over his left eye. He's got a bloody nose, an eye cut, and some abrasions on his forehead. But that's not going to bother him.
Gatti is pouring stuff through here on Ward. He's firing the right hand enough. He's cut Micky Ward. Tying him up.
Gatti's trying to get back in control here.
Good hook too by Gatti.
He was controlling the fight nicely to the last round.
Good hook by Gatti. Again, he opens up with that hook and Ward answers him.
Time out. Crowd doesn't like it. You see the cuts on Ward's face.
He's warning him that the second time that Ward has strayed low. First time nothing was said.
The left eye is not looking good.
Oh, they each have a handicap to overcome here.
Oh, good right hand from Ward. Oh.
Another big right hand by Ward. And he's gambling now because of the eye.
And the final seconds of round 5.
We've got some desperado scenarios coming up here. Perfect drama.
Let it away. Let it work.
You gotta be goofy. He's fighting with one hand, really. One hand to fight a vision.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not.
It's above the eye.
Didn't trickle that in.
No.
All right, we'll let it go.
All right, baby. Better round.
All right, just
Okay.
sit on it.
You got the legs. Let's shoot them. Okay. You still have the 6 one to pick it up. You got a couple left. Nice and smart. Okay. Let's go, baby.
Second it out, Joe. Halfway.
Don't go no more.
Here we go, round 6. As Dave used the word drama, it's true, these two guys can create extreme drama. And here they are in a tight race again. Ward coming on the last couple of rounds because of what we assumed to be an injury to Gatti's right hand. Gatti's been using the left a lot, doubling the left to the body, the head. He's starting to move.
There was one fight in his career where Gatti practically won the fight with his left hand, and that was against Tracy Harris Patterson in their rematch. He used his height and reach, and the right hand wasn't hurt, but he just was so effective with the jab that he stayed outside and jabbed his way into a decision. Question is, can he rely on his left hand to do most of the work in this fight now?
They did a great job on the cut over Ward's left eye.
It was coming out the side of the eye, fortunately not going into the eye.
Hang it up, guys.
In close exchange by
Walk it out, walk it out.
both fighters. It's not very often in boxing history that two men create such excitement in a series of battles like these two.
Now, I think it's because their deeds far outweigh their words. They are soft-spoken guys who go in and give an absolute contrast with the way they perform.
These are two nice men. and they truly like each other.
And usually to get some big money fights, you have to have a lot of flash or one-punch knockout or talk, a lot of catchy phrases. These guys are just very good, honest, hard-working guys who are very exciting when they go in against each other.
Ward trying to let go with that left hook. Yeah, he sneaked it in, uppercut, and he nailed Gatti on the jaw. Uppercut from Gatti.
He shows it. And I think he's basically pacing himself with the right hand. He'll fire it now and then. If a good opportunity comes, he may fire one or two good ones around and try to save it. Now there's a situation where he could have fired a right hand. He went with 3 left hooks.
And the left hooks of the body can be very tiring to Ward. Here's the jab, left hook. And he got countered down.
He walked into trouble. As he was throwing the left hand, Micky Ward had an answer. What a huge swing in this fight.
At the bell. He got hit with a counter shot.
On a fight that was going Gatti's way.
You got to move to your right a little more because you're dropping that left hand. Keep the left hand on the front.
How you feeling? You fine? You both to put the pressure on. That's all you had and shoulder.
These guys are giving everything. Watch Gatti take the left hook and down he goes. He's trying to fire one and he eats one instead. And the right hand over the top.
Let's go,
In the temple area. And shake off the equilibrium. He wanted to fire left hooks. Ward got there first with his punch. So
Here we
guys
go.
are giving you everything.
Time out a minute. They've got to put the mouthpiece in. Round 7, here we go. Ward comes out with a right hook to the jaw. Goes to the body. Another wild right off Gatti's face.
Ward is firing some excellent right hands here. Knows that he put Gatti down. He's trying to parlay it. He's trying to work through the cuts. He's trying not to get any points taken away because he's had 2 warnings. And Gatti is trying to overcome the pain of a right hand and a big shot by Ward. Oh, did he get rocked?
Gatti's in trouble. Can he fight back?
Oh, terrific shot by Ward. If he had one more in his arsenal at that moment, he would have put Gatti down.
Ward backed off a little bit.
What a terrific shot landed by Micky Ward.
And then he backed off. There's Gatti.
Trying to do everything with the left hook. Evidence of how hurt that right hand is. He needs to go to it. I'm going to go southpaw for a second.
Gatti fighting with the left. His right eye is swollen. Here he comes. Swinging that left.
Showing the right and trying to win it with the left hand. Well, what thrills in this fight?
Ward trying to unload some uppercuts. Oh, Ward took a shot. Ward is stunned. He's stunned.
How did he not go down?
Unbelievable.
That shot could have knocked down a wall. Micky Ward stayed up.
Now here comes Gatti. One-handed fighter. If you didn't think the third fight could top the other 2, it's on its way.
And these guys could just spend the next 3 years fighting each other. People would come out.
Oh, rocked. Ward rocked by some straight punches.
Gatti has been in adversity before. Go back to the Ruelas fight. Imagine getting hit 17 times in a row and then knocking the guy out with the next punch.
I think when Ward had Gatti over here against the ropes early in the round, he had him going and he backed up. It may have been his chance.
It's been a night of chances. You know another chance will come along.
Arturo Gatti coming back after getting rocked early in the round. And here comes Gatti at the bell.
Incredible turnaround by Gatti.
Absolutely amazing.
This is where your 10 miles per minute goes. Give me that bucket. Right there.
Need help, man. Yeah. You all right? Walk to the bed. Get back. Oh, my God.
Good. Ward comes on at the beginning of the round. Remember, he had a knockdown at the end of the last round, and he's trying to parlay early against Gatti. He is raining in some big shots. Gatti is in trouble. And then, look, he comes back with a huge left hook. Somehow, Ward did not go down.
Round 7. Round 8, excuse me, I got carried away with the excitement.
Well, this is the kind of fight that would make anybody a boxing fan if they had never seen one. Make you a boxing fan for life.
Round 8.
Just like the beginning of last round, it's Ward trying to come on with the right hand. You know Gatti's left hook is going to show up here at some point.
Well, you thought Ward might, well, he put forth an effort, but it wouldn't make any difference. Ward looks tonight as if he has a long career ahead of him yet. And it's just as important for him as it is for Gatti. However, Ward says he will definitely retire. He's looking good.
Well, he hasn't fought like someone who has one foot out the door. I've seen many times guys announce they will retire after a fight, and then they will give that half-hearted effort. But we have not seen that from Micky Ward. And I could also tell you that after the fight's over, they might give him some incentive at some point to bring him back against Gatti. They may think that 3 times is not enough.
Gatti just landed a pretty good right hand moments ago. And I think you said before, Dave, he may keep that right hand in reserve and use it on occasion.
Yeah, use it, find out the best shot, maybe twice around, take a big pop with it. Looked like it was one of those injuries that really hurt in the beginning and it's bothering him. It momentarily subsided, at least to the point where he could throw a couple around. But basically, Arturo Gatti's right hand was taken out of this fight a while ago.
Well, it's like Ward getting hit in the ear in the 3rd round of the 2nd fight. It was really essentially out of it. Of course, again, Gatti broke his hand in that fight.
So he's showing his right hand a little more in this round.
Gatti's starting to move and box now. Trying to pick up the rhythm. Pick up the pace. Back Ward up.
Gatti tried to fire that right hand in, then goes with the right hand. And this is the most active we've seen his right hand in 5 rounds. Hook by Ward getting in. Right hand by Ward getting in.
In the final seconds of round 8.
Okay? Keep that jab in the face, man. Okay? 6 more minutes. Upper body movement. Okay, listen. This is how... Okay, when you get inside, listen. choose these. Get out of there. That's what he wants. We're not doing that no more. Okay, we fighting our style now. Okay?
My hand is wet.
We got 6 minutes, baby.
Nice run.
These guys look like they've gone through the gauntlet.
Well, they took care of the cut on Ward's face. That's not been a factor. Round 9, here we go. Coming down the stretch. Scheduled for 10.
It's been a quick-paced fight. You don't look back and see any rounds where nothing happens.
How do you have it, Dave?
I've got a little bit ahead, despite the knockdown.
I would say I agree. Jabbing with a left. Ward trying to counter with a left hook. And that's been his signature punch through his career. Left hook to the body.
Now he's missing with the right uppercut, then Ward backing him up.
What we doing here? I agree. Walk it out.
Earl Morton untangling the two fellows. Touch gloves, go back at it.
You usually see guys tapping gloves in the middle of a fight and not being vicious with each other. These guys can tap the gloves and be friendly, and a second later be predators.
That's what's amazing about them.
Now, most nice guys finish first fights end up with not this type of action.
Gatti's doing pretty well here boxing in his 9th round.
And he's getting a little more bold with the right hand. Not full power, but more than 6 rounds ago.
Well, regardless of what happened to the right hand, he's got to use it in these final 2 rounds. It's a close fight.
Good right hand sneaking through by Gatti. Look how easy he makes himself this fight when he can jab.
I think Ward may have gotten used to Gatti not using the right, and he could walk into one.
Well, even if he did, he gets hit there. I would say it's still something that's paid off for him throughout this fight, because after Gatti stopped using that right hand, Ward jumped on him, and for the next couple of rounds was all over him with shots and then able to put him down.
Ward might have exhausted some of his energy in this fight.
Well, you can understand as he scores with a big right hand and takes some that he knocked Gatti down. He had a chance to go after him. He knew the guy wasn't throwing the right hand. It was in his interest to gamble there, even if it did leave him a little tired. A win was in front of him.
Well, if you go back to the 9th round of the first fight, Ward had Gatti down. He had him going, and then he backed up. He was out of gas. Final seconds, round 9. As Gatti is making a comeback here.
Use your legs, but let your hands go. Okay? Boxing, but use it, move your hands. Okay? We gotta close the show big, but no slugfest. You understand?
Pull it back up. Hold the south.
Last round, baby, okay? 3 minutes. Okay, you work hard for this, Arturo. Let's go. But use your legs, let your hands go, use your legs. You put it all together this round. Move it up.
Final round.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, let's do it.
Here we go, round 10, as the fighters embrace the beginning round. When do you see that?
Not only the tapping of the gloves, but the embrace and then the excitement after it. It's just a great fight in a great event for the sport of boxing to find the right 2 guys to match together that are very big in regions. For Micky Ward, the New England region. For Arturo Gatti, the Mid-Atlantic region. Covers a few states. And here they are fighting it out. Gatti had a big edge, 41% to 20% connections in round 9. That's a big difference as he's been sharpshooting and Ward slowing down a bit since the knockdown.
Both guys the same size, the same weight. Perfectly matched in many ways.
Yeah, there were no natural stylistic advantages that one guy could have. Neither guy could stay outside and say, I've got a 5-inch reach advantage, I'll jab my way to a win. And they had to basically out-execute the other guy. Gatti doing a shuffle step. He's happy with how things are going. The first shuffle step we've seen from him.
Gatti was down in this fight, and he's fought back.
Come on, Gatti, pull your arm now.
He realizes what the future could hold. He wanted to fight with Kasia Zhu. Ward hit him with a right. Almost came through the ropes. Here's uppercuts from Gatti.
Was able to fight Micky Ward off the ropes there and answer him. The crowd standing now.
1 minute left in this classic contest.
Gatti's been down, Ward's been cut. Gatti's had a right hand injury. They fight through.
They certainly didn't disappoint in Ward Gatti 3.
Come on, Gatti, let him go. Let him go, Gatti, let him go.
Everything in the tank they have brought.
Ward said, I've given my life to boxing, and after this fight, I'm done.
Well, however it works out, it's good to see these kind of guys making good paydays because it's the hard way.
The crowd is on its feet. Last 20 seconds.
Hey, Gatti's right hand came back at the end of the fight. Or he's just going to accept the pain.
Standing and slugging. 10 seconds. Incredible.
Well, they went wire to wire at a very good pace.
And that's it. Two gallant men.
We even see the managers embracing the other fighters.
The trilogy will never be forgotten in boxing history.
These guys gave everything, and you knew that they would. Gatti found some power in the right hand. He found an ability to come back from a knockdown.
I know you want your home.
How will Gatti do, however, against swifter, more clever opponents?
He may not fight them. He may try to get guys that come straight at him and create slugfests.
Now he's in a tough division. There's some good people in that division.
Always an adventure with these guys. And you know, one reason the fans love them is that they wear the marks on them after the fight. This is round 4. A low blow, and that's where the hand problem started for Gatti. Colliding against the hip of Micky Ward. And he's in pain, but he needs to find another way to fight. Telling that to Buddy McGirt. That he thought he broke the hand. And then in the 10th round, you would never have known it, but the rest of the fight, he went outside and tried to win this with his left hook. Micky! How many times have we seen a guy hurt a hand and quit? But not tonight.
These two guys were not made for quitting.
Just hitting them in the head.
And that gentleman right there ends his career tonight. Let's have the decision. It's going to be an interesting one.
After 30 grueling rounds, a round of applause for two warriors who gave it everything they had in this ring. We now go to the scorecards for the final chapter of the Gatti Ward trilogy. Joseph Pasquale scores it 96-93. George Hill, 96-93. Luis Rivera, 97-92. All for the winner by unanimous decision, Arturo Gatti.
And fireworks, no less.
Well, you win by 3, by 3, and by 5 when you've been down and you've hurt your hand. Terrific warrior.
You may never see a bout like this again. Arturo Gatti has a bright future ahead. And Micky Ward has ended a long career, started in 1985. Although he did take 2 years off during that career, he questioned his ability, whether he wanted to continue to fight, but he came back. And he was fighting a lot of people locally and earning a fairly good reputation until he got involved with Arturo Gatti.
And it do as well in the last 3 fights, more so than in all the other fights leading up to that put together. So he's a guy that hung in there long enough to get his.
Larry Merchant will interview both fighters up in the ring. And we want to go up there and listen to it all.
Arturo, Micky, thank you very much. Did either of you suspect that this fight would be as intense as the first fight between you?
Larry, like I said before the fight meeting, I know what type of man Micky Ward is, and I knew he was coming in tonight to fight his best fight of his life. And if it would have been anybody else, they would have quit. And Micky Ward hurt me in the fourth round. I hurt my hand in the 3rd round, but Micky Ward is unbelievable. He's got a heart. And for someone that wants to retire, he fought a hell of a fight.
Well, that's an interesting comment, Micky. A lot of guys who retire, they don't want to go through this one last time.
Right.
What was your feeling about that coming in here?
I didn't want to, but he caught me some good shots early that stunned me, and I was too weak to live myself. He just fought a great fight. He hurt me early, not really bad, but enough to get me a little dizzy, and just couldn't get on track after that. We fought a great fight. He fought his fight, and take my hat off him. No excuses. I was in great condition. I just things happen in the ring. You always got a game plan, but sometimes it doesn't. You got to go to something else because it doesn't work, and that's what happened.
All right, the 3rd round, you hurt your hand. Apparently, or the 4th round on his hip.
Yes.
Was that it?
Yes, it was put on his hip.
How did you know instantly this is broken?
Yes. The last fight when I hurt my hand in the 3rd round, it was numb. Right there, when I hit him with the uppercut and he hit his hip, I knew right there that I hurt my hand, and that just threw me off my fight. And the fight totally changed after that.
All right, now, Buddy McGirt says to you in the corner afterwards, in effect, do you want to continue? Can you continue? What were you thinking?
No, I just want to let him know that I hurt my hand. Of course I want to continue. It takes more than that. It takes more than that to stop me in a fight. I came here to win tonight, and I wanted my coach, Buddy, to know that I was hurt, to come up with a good game plan for me to win this fight.
All right, how soon did you know that you were fighting, in effect, a 1 or 1.5
I knew
punch?
something hit me. I could see it in his face. I could tell he wasn't throwing with the power that he caught me with earlier. I knew it, but like he said, he has. Well, you won't believe. He got hot, like, man. I told you he's like Jason. He doesn't stop. He can't stop him. He just keeps coming up. That's his nickname, Jason. Thunder.
All right, did at one point you started to throw it again? Did it become numb and you just didn't even feel it?
No, it was hurting, but I told myself if I don't throw it, Micky knew about it. He has a small corner, and they told him that his hand is hurt. So I had to do something, and it started working again, but it was hurting.
All right, now you're falling behind in a fight, and at the end of the 6th round, a knockdown. Let's see if we could take a look at it. And you describe what happened, because it even seemed a little bit you were very tired, and somehow you pulled yourself back into the fight with that knockdown.
They caught me earlier in the fight with a good right hand, and that discombobulated me some. I just couldn't get my legs under me too, like I wanted to, and I knew he'd come back from it. That's what he's about. He comes back, and all the time I heard him at the end of the round. Never heard it begin.
All right, now he hit you on top of the head. Was that an off-balance shot, or did he really stun you?
No, he stunned me. I went down because I was stunned. I looked over to my corner and said, don't worry, I'm going to get up.
Okay, now you started to box him for the next few rounds. You started to use your left hand, and he didn't have the answers. But at the end of the ninth, or going into the ninth round, you put your arm around his neck. What did you say to him?
I forget, but probably, Jesus, when are you going to stay down? I don't know. I put my hand around and I just said, hey, this guy's great, you know what I mean? It's mutual respect. It's, I mean, I want to beat him more than anything in the world. But outside, he's a human. He's a beautiful guy. That's what it's about. It's about respect. It's not about who's tougher. We're both tough guys. It's about respect, and that's what everyone, the kids in the world, should have is respect for each other.
It looked as though in the last couple of rounds, Arturo, that he had nothing left, that he was just really fading, and yet he fought you back. Did you feel you could knock him out at that point?
No, not at all. Micky's, he's a sharp fighter, and he's a veteran, He wanted to lure me into something with a body shot. That's how I felt. So I started moving on my legs, because he's a veteran, and he wanted to lure me into something, so I knew about that, so I started moving around.
That was a good body shot earlier in the fight that slowed me down a lot, and I'll tell you the truth. I tried covering him, like didn't hurt, but I did my sit-ups tonight. He got me some good body shots. That slowed me down.
So we can assume that your promise to retire is going to be fulfilled.
Yeah, it's kind of just something else to do, but I give it my all. I always give it my all 100%, and tell any kid, anyone who wants to get in it, don't get in unless you're serious, because it's a serious sport. I want him to, I'll be there for him, and he also step it away if he needs anything.
Is this series going to be something that is going to be with you and identify you for the rest of your life?
Yeah, probably. Most definitely. I'll step for him for life, that's just the way it is.
Thank you very much, Micky.
Thanks, HBO, for having me. I have all the viewers. Thank you so much.
All right, Arturo.
Graziano Zale and Daddy Ward.
Yeah, a very nice trilogy that we were able to see fulfilled between these guys as they came through and did everything that was asked of them in this fight, Dick, and even more. The idea that they could turn around and show another gear. For Micky Ward, the cut, the fact that he was hurt to the body, and he was able to come back from that. And for Arturo Gatti, the hand problem, he's able to come back from that.
What do you think, Dave, the future holds for Arturo Gatti?
I think he goes back and...
Who does he go after? He's got to fight the top contenders in the division.
You can have the division scenario, but remember when he went up against Oscar De La Hoya, he was over his head for that one. I think as far as the drawing card, they will keep him involved in this as long as they can with guys who will just give him good, gritty fights. Remember, this was a 10-round fight. This was not a championship. Micky Ward started in the 80s when there were 2 sanctioning bodies. Now there's tons of them, and look what they did for no title. I think for Arturo Gatti, there's a guy that doesn't need a title fight. You just have to put him in with guys who can make him fight.
Well, he was a former junior lightweight champion, so he's held a world title.
He's been there. He's had those situations. I think for him, if it's a no-name guy, though, that held a title, it may not hold his interest at this point in his career. I think he needs event fights.
Well, this is Dick Landis with Dave Tempo, and what a thrill it's been to witness the trilogy, which is now over. And you boxing fans will never, ever forget it.